Hello, it's your Commodore, Ty Coles here, with another Star Trek review. As I mentioned in a previous review that we did lose Morgan Woodward a while back, and I was going to review both episodes. I already reviewed Dagger of the Mind. Now I'm going on to his second appearance in Star Trek, where it was Season 2, Episode 23, The Omega, Glory. The start date of this episode is unknown, but made to believe that the events of this episode took place in the year 2268. The Enterprise is on its way to Omega 4. They find another starship in orbit, so they order alert status, but they find out it's just the USS Exeter NCC 1672.
USS Exeter, sir. Try to contact her, Lieutenant.
Aye, sir.
This is where it was last reported on patrol in this area about 6 months ago, and they had no issues at that time. But there's a question I have with this. Wouldn't the crew put on the quarantine beacon, or the Enterprise crew maybe scan it better to see if there's any life forms on it before they beam over? But instead they beam over into the engineering section, where they just find a whole whack of uniforms lying around with just some white crystals near them, but no sign of the crew anywhere.
Just the uniforms left.
As if they were in them when...
Exactly. When... What?
Kirk mentioned in his log that Ron Tracy is the most experienced captain in Starfleet, so he was wondering what could have happened here.
Captain's log aboard the USS Exeter, commanded by Ron Tracy, one of the most experienced captains in the Starfleet. What could have happened to him and the over 400 men and women?
We then find out those white crystals is the crew, or what's left of the crew.
Jim, the crew didn't leave. They're still here.
What do you mean?
These white crystals, that's what's left of the human body when you take the water away.
They play back the last ship's log, which was made by the ship's surgeon. Anti-Trekker made something about that he was put in charge. I disagree. He could have been the last surviving person to make this recording. So who knows who Ron Tracy actually put in command of the Exeter when he beamed down.
If you've come aboard this ship, you're dead men. Don't go back to your own ship. You have one chance. Get down there. Get down there fast.
So they hear the warning from the ship's surgeon, and beam down to the surface of the planet. They see a group of, when they beam down, they see a group of Asian-looking people about to kill another person there that's more of a white person. We find out a little later on that the person that they were attacking are called the Yangs, and the people attacking them, the villagers, were called the Coms. Ron Tracy makes his appearance, stops all this, but you hear them talking about fireboxes, which are phasers.
Prisoners are called Yangs. Impossible even to communicate with. Hordes of them out there. They'll attack anything that moves. Interesting that the villagers know about phasers.
We learn that the Yangs are a savage group of people, and they're hard to communicate. They're very extreme. Kirk finds out that they're also very infected by the help of McCoy. But troublesome more is that Ron Tracy broke the Prime Directive.
Growing belief that Captain Tracy has been interfering with the evolution of life on this planet. It seems impossible. The Star Captain's most solemn oath is that he will give his life, even his entire crew, rather than violate the Prime Directive.
We see McCoy working on some portable devices and in communication with the ship and the lab technicians on board the ship to hopefully find something that can cure them so they can beam up back up to the ship. But the only starting off point that McCoy has is that the disease resembles a biological weaponry experiment created in the 1990s.
I've only got one lead. The infection resembles one developed by Earth during their bacteriological warfare experiments in the 1990s.
Just as that happens, we see Spock come in with the red shirt because they were attacked by the Yanks. The red shirt is injured, and Spock has some bumps and bruises on him. Spock and McCoy start to debate about what they should do about Captain Tracy breaking the Prime Directive because they have evidence and it's proven that he did, because they found phaser packs and the villagers know about phasers and all that. So they are talking to Kirk and telling him what actions they should do.
He lost his ship and his crew, and then he found himself the only thing standing between an entire village of pleasant, peaceful people.
Regulations are quite harsh, but they are also quite clear, Captain. If you do not act, you will be considered equally guilty. A fool.
Just as that's about to happen, Ron Tracy comes in and kills the red shirt. Red shirt, we hardly knew ye. Captain Tracy then, with the help of the comms, take their weapons and calls the Enterprise. And we start to see Captain Tracy start to loses his mind a bit.
Sir, this is Lieutenant Sulu in temporary command of the Enterprise. Our whole medical staff will volunteer to beam down.
There's no point in risking more lives, Lieutenant, since I've acquired some immunity. Perhaps the others...
And we find out the reason why he's doing this is because he believes that the planet has the secrets to eternal life.
No native to this planet has ever had any trace of any kind of disease. How long would a man live if all disease were erased, Jim?
Because the comms there are very old.
Wu is 462 years old.
Reaching to over 1,000 years old. Tells Kirk about his plan, but Kirk escapes and they have their first little bit of a fight. Kirk and Spock end up getting chucked into the cell, Kirk with the Yanks, Spock on his own, and Kirk fights the Yanks. Kirk then tries to escape and the Yanks help him, but doesn't. Instead of helping Kirk escape, he just clocks Kirk on the back of the head and doesn't repay any favors, and just the Yanks escape.
Mark, we'll have you out in a minute. Captain.
While this is all going on, we go over to McCoy, and he's just trying to work on a vaccination. When Kirk and Spock finally do escape, McCoy realizes that they are all immunized and that there is no real fountain of youth in this planet, and that the people here are used to living longer because of... they're just used to it because of evolution now. As Spock is trying to contact the ship, Tracy comes in, shoots the console, and injures Spock in the meantime.
No messages.
And Ron Tracy has lost his mind. We hear the comms are losing to the Yanks, despite no matter how many Yanks they kill, they keep coming and coming and coming. Kirk then says, "What the hell is going on? What's with you? We can all beam up to the ship now." And Tracy's like, "You found a cure?" "No, there is no cure." Kirk is telling him, "There's no cure. We're good. Let's move up."
There's no serum! There's no miracles! There's no immortality here! All this is for nothing!
Tracy wants to stay and fight, but Kirk refuses, so they end up fighting again, but are caught by the Yangs. So they're captured by the Yangs. They finally figure out what happened on this planet.
If my ancestors were forced out of their cities, into the deserts, the hills.
Yes, I see, Captain. They would have learned to wear skins, adopted stoic mannerisms.
And
Yanks? Spock? Yankees.
Colonialism. Communists.
then you just hear some drums play, and out comes Old Glory, tattered up and looks like it went through hell. Kirk and Tracy fight for the third time this episode. And Kirk finally overcomes Tracy and wins. And at the end of the episode, we have Kirk give a very powerful speech that still resonates today and should be followed by more people today.
It's proudly saying, "We the people." That what you called Id Plebnista was not written for the chiefs or the kings or the warriors or the rich or the powerful, but for all the people.
A lot of people can learn from this speech.
Were not written only for the Yangs, but for the Coms as well.
Coms.
They must apply to everyone, or they mean nothing. Do you understand?
Overall, an amazing episode. It shows you what could happen when war or differences overtake people. Morgan Woodward does an amazing job yet again as Captain Ron Tracy.
And 4 of our phasers, and they still came. We killed thousands, and they still came.
And we get to see the deterioration of his mind throughout the episode. From at the beginning of the episode, you think he's calm and cool, but as the episode progresses, you start to see him lose more and more of his mind. This is, I believe this is a Star Trek classic, and a lot of people enjoy the Omega Glory. I do too. This is definitely one is worth watching. So, for your Commodore Ty Coles, live long and prosper, people. Hailing frequencies closed. Thank you for watching the video from Commodore Ty. If you'd like to see more, please hit the like button, share, subscribe to the channel, and why not, when you're here, check out one of my other mini videos I've done. Live long and prosper. Hailing frequencies closed.